kick from Jermaine Jenas, earning a point at Old Trafford, was the latest sign that Tottenham under Martin Jol are making progress. Arsenal's fragile confidence didn't stop their bizarre playing of a penalty last week. Arsene Wenger relieved that Robert Pires had already scored against Manchester City. It was goals galore when the North London rivals met at White Hart Lane last season, when Arsenal managed to outscore Tottenham and win this fixture by the odd goal in 9. Welcome to White Hart Lane, where the atmosphere is electric for the arrival of the two teams. It is the North London derby. It's Tottenham against Arsenal. Tottenham Hotspur with their highest hopes for years of winning this game. Jermaine Jenas, who scored in the last couple of matches, taking part in this particular occasion for the first time. And it's an atmosphere to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. It's over 6 years since Spurs beat their neighbours, but in view of the fact that they're above them in the table, they are hopeful that it might lead them to success. Let's have a look at the two teams. Edgar Davids is denied his first appearance in this derby by the 5th yellow card he picked up this season in last week's draw at Old Trafford. Finnish international Teemu Tainio is the preferred replacement, with both Andy Reid and Pedro Mendes among the substitutes. Tainio is one of 5 Spurs players for whom this is a first taste of this fixture. Another is Jermaine Jenas, who scored in the last 2 games. Robert Pires pays the penalty for his botched penalty against Manchester City last week. On his 32nd birthday, the Frenchman is left out, and with Thierry Henry, who'd volunteered to take over spot kick duties, now injured, Lauren may again have to take on the role. He scored one in the win here last season, but has missed one this term against Fulham. Sol Campbell is fit to face his former club, and Jose Reyes and Freddie Ljungberg are also back from injuries. Ljungberg has scored 4 times in the last 5 games between these two clubs. But Trevor Francis, it's the absence from the team sheet of Thierry Henry that will surely give Spurs a pre-match boost.
Very much so. I think that Henry has proved himself over the years to be the top striker in the Premiership. His form has been quite outstanding for Arsenal, and he's a big loss. As for Spurs, well, they're playing some outstanding football themselves. The type of football that everybody here likes to see at White Hart Lane. That's what they've been brought up on over the years. They play a very simple 4-4-2 formation, predominantly English lineup, 7 English players in the starting lineup, and I think supporters can certainly identify with that. It promises to be a great occasion today. You mentioned that most Spurs supporters think that a home win is due, but I would never back against Arsenal, despite the loss of Henry.
Well, Jermaine Jenas has already been sent off by today's match referee against Arsenal this season. Steve Bennett dismissed him for a foul on Gilberto, although that was later overturned. But they're ready to bang the drum for an unusual Spurs victory in this fixture in recent times. If they manage it, it'll be their 50th in the history of the fixture. Ledley King is the most experienced Spurs player in these derby matches, but the only player on the pitch who's played in a Tottenham win in this fixture is now in Arsenal clothing. Before his controversial switch from N17 to N5, Sol Campbell played in Spurs' last 3 wins against the old enemy.
Rob, it's interesting that Spurs are going to kick off. Sol Campbell won the toss, and he's elected to change ends. That was immediately greeted with a round of boos, and you can expect that throughout the game.
Mido taping up his jewellery. But for whom will it be the gold hero today? Steve Bennett in charge. It's 10 and a half years since Tottenham Hotspur came into this fixture above Arsenal in the table. The game that day ended drawn, but Spurs also finished the season ahead of their rivals, 7th as opposed to 12th, and that's also the last time that happened. It was back in the 94-95 season. Here's Stalteri, moved on by Carrick and away by Clichy. Here's Gilberto. Now Kolo Touré. And this is Lauren. No way through for Flamini. It was stopped by Carrick. Touré. And Mido felt he'd been fouled, but the referee's given it the other way.
Yes, and rightly so. I think Mido realised that he couldn't get to the ball. Quite clearly fouled Touré, who was about to take possession.
Well, the jeers that greet Sol Campbell every time he touches the ball will clearly identify him today. Here's Ledley King. And Paul Robinson, who, for all his good form this season, had that shaky moment that gave Manchester United their goal a week ago. He's on the ball now. Flamini looking for the run of Reyes, but he'd broken too quickly and he's offside.
Well, I think Spurs have got lucky there. It's a great run from Reyes. Lovely diagonal ball from Flamini. Reyes took up a position in between Stalteri and Dawson. It was a great diagonal, and I think he was onside. The system referee got that wrong.
Jose Reyes got the winner for Arsene Wenger's team when the sides last met at Highbury back in April. We had a 9-goal thriller here last year. But for the second time, already in the contest, which is less than 3 minutes old, Mido's given away the free kick.
I can only put that down to overexcitement. He's just got to be careful, though. If he continues to accumulate free kicks against him like that, he'll quickly find himself in the book.
Ledley King, now Defoe, taken down well. And here's Mido, looking to get the better of Lauren, and Campbell slices it clear. Carrick, Defoe, Ledley King. Now Stalteri. Carrick. This is Lee, who's being watched by his international manager today, South Korea's Dick Advocaat, among the crowd. Mido screened it from Touré. Has to move away from Flamini, but can't.
Well, Mido was guilty of over-elaborating on the ball there. He had two players on his left-hand side, Lee and Tainio, both waiting for possession of the ball. He elected to try and come back on himself and lost possession.
Tottenham seeking their 50th win in the history of this fixture against their local rivals. This, the 150th meeting, and it's a fixture that has been soured in recent times by Sol Campbell's move from one part of North London to the other. Certainly hasn't been forgotten and is nowhere near to being forgiven either. Here's Ljungberg, getting the better of Stalteri, and Reyes wanted it played early then. It's Tainio. Kept it in for Mido. Flamini slid in and took Tainio after the ball had gone. But a quick tempo about Spurs as Carrick looks to spread it to Lennon. Now Ljungberg. Clichy. Took it around Stalteri. and managed to keep it in the official's view. Dawson came across in the end, and Stalteri gets it away to Genus. Toure to Lauren. A real hothouse atmosphere at White Hart Lane. Sol Campbell. Clichy. Fabregas, Flamini, Reyes. Flamini's moved on to it. Bergkamp. And it's Freddie Ljungberg. And in the end, it's stopped by Carrick after what had been a move of real quality from Arsenal. But it's Lennon on the break. Looks to find Defoe, and Lauren's in the way. Reyes, Bergkamp, Arsenal getting into their stride again. And here's Genus. Now Lennon. Mido. Stalteri. Bends it round, but it's beyond the front two, and Lauren keeps it in. Fabregas played it strangely against Carrick, and it's broken for Stalteri here. Dawson, Carrick again, now King. Challenged by Lauren.
It's interesting when you look at the lineups of the two teams, Rob, because on the right-hand side for Arsenal, Fabregas, on the left-hand side for Tainio, they'll be playing directly against one another, but both of them are natural central midfield players, reluctant to hold any width. I expect them to be playing quite narrow on their respective sides, thus giving plenty of space in the wide areas for the two fullbacks, Lee for Spurs, in Lauren for Arsenal to attack.
There's Lauren. Now Fabregas. Lee. Bergkamp. Fabregas pokes it through to Reyes. And now Carrick, a player that Arsene Wenger admires. He admitted at the club's AGM that Carrick was one of three Spurs players, Robinson and Defoe being the others, that he would not have minded signing. Here's Jermaine Genus, with whom Wenger has also been linked in the past. Michael Dawson. Gilberto won the header. And here's Fabregas. Genus won it back and gets it back. Lennon. Too short for Stalteri. Clichy came between them and breaks. Now Reyes. Ljungberg. Won back by Carrick. Genus. Mido, did Campbell have hold of his shirt? Free kick.
Well, the free kick against Campbell has been greeted as if Spurs have just scored the opening goal. It's a good run from Mido. Genus was looking for a little ball in that channel. He had to wait for a movement from either of his front players. It was Mido who obliged with a good run, and the referee got it right.
Carrick's kick towards Genus, who's got a couple in the last couple. Stalteri. Now Campbell. One from him by Mido, but it's broken to Reyes here. Too heavily weighted for Fabregas, whose instinct again had been to come inside. Here's Campbell, who became the first player in 24 years to make the switch that he did, following in the footsteps of Pat Jennings. Never a comfortable experience for him, this. He actually missed both of the fixtures last season. Here's Lauren. Ledley King. Bergkamp. Now Reyes. King makes the tackle and gets the ball. His judgment then had to be spot on, and it was. Campbell. And Gilberto brings down Genus and produces the first yellow card of the game.
Yes, and it all comes about through a miscontrol from Gilberto. His first touch wasn't good enough. Genus was quick to get onto it, as was King here with a timely tackle. Bergkamp played Reyes in. He was in a good position, certainly got goal side of King. But there you saw how valuable it is as a defender to have pace like King does, because that's certainly got him out of trouble there.
And that demonstration of his impeccable pace and timing, a demonstration of why he's expected to be challenging the likes of Sol Campbell and Ferdinand and Terry for an England place. Flamini. Lauren. Fabregas with the cross. Flamini's header. Well, he didn't really get a cleaner header at it. Reyes managed to isolate Stalteri.
I just feel that Flamini probably should have done better with that header. He was well picked out from Fabregas. It was a ball that was played in about chest high. And really, Flamini had to direct the header. Been a difficult chance for him, but should have done better with a header.
Here's Gilberto. Toure. Fabregas. Lauren. Tainio saw his opportunity and pounced.
He saw his opportunity because Lauren's options were very limited. There was nobody in a wide position. I've already mentioned that Fabregas prefers to play very narrow, and there was not much movement in forward areas either.
Well, a second yellow card has just been shown, this time to Flamini. For that challenge. The referees sometimes make allowances for occasions like this, but Flamini, the second Arsenal midfielder under pressure from a yellow card in a fixture where we haven't had a red for some 3 seasons now. Simon Davis of Spurs, the last player to be sent off in this game. Came off Campbell's head. It's going wide anyway, but Lehmann prevents the corner. Reyes. Now Lauren. Tumble after the ball had gone. Tainio, the Spurs player involved, with Lauren.
Yes, there's nothing deliberate from Tainio. He actually slipped, and as a result of that, Lauren, trying to play a 1-2, just fell into him.
Toure. Defoe. Onside, Mido. Lennon's in the middle. He's done well, Mido. Defoe. And cleared in the end by Clichy. Here's Stelteri. And that's a foul by Gilberto, who's only recently been booked.
Well, that was unfortunate for Spurs. If Mr. Bennett had just delayed it for a split second, they could have profited from the advantage rule. Quite clearly a foul from Gilberto in the back of Lennon, but look at the position Stelteri. He's continued his run, and he was clear in the penalty box.
Carrick's kick. King! King of North London, for the moment at least. Ledley King has put Spurs ahead, and now there is real belief among those Tottenham fans that the order in this city could be changing.
Well, Arsenal have paid for giving away that free kick. It's a lovely flighted ball from Carrick, attacked by King, unstoppable the header. He gets real power behind it, heads it downwards. It's unstoppable. Lehmann tries his best, but it absolutely flashes past him. The power of the header beats Lehmann.
A second goal of the season for Ledley King. The other one also against another London side, Charlton, but altogether different. That was a fluky affair. This was a real positive direct header from the Spurs captain, the man who grew into the mantle that was left behind by Sol Campbell, a player he played alongside, and he has just bolstered his hero status here. And Toure's made a slip, and Mido looks for a second straight away and hits it wide.
Well, Mido cleverly puts it through the legs of Toure, then wastes no time, looks up. Lehmann a couple of yards off his line, tries to chip him.
And Arsene Wenger's picture is one of discontent, and this is why.
Well, it's a free header, isn't it, for Ledley King? He attacks the ball. There's nobody within 2 or 3 yards. It's not contested, but the header was decisive. It was powerful. It needed to be on target, and the power took it past Lehmann before he could actually move.
Well, a cautionary note for Spurs. They took the lead in this fixture last season and still ended up on the wrong end of a 5-4 scoreline. But they have deserved that opening goal on the balance of almost 20 minutes of play. Carrick's header. And Leonard wins his battle with Clichy. Genus.
Well, it won in. King was the saviour of a goal, dispossessing Reyes, and then, like any true captain, comes forward for the free kick. Quality was good from Carrick, and King dispatches the ball in the back of the net.
Here's Campbell, considered the very opposite of Ledley King in the minds of Spurs fans. Lennon. Stalteri. Mido. Well, Sven-Göran Eriksson, the England coach, is here today, and it's a nice problem he's got in King vying for a place in that well-contested area. Toure there involved in a little bit of a scuffle with Defoe. Thankfully nothing too serious. Here's Fabregas. Reyes was offside, but Ljungberg isn't. It's Freddie Ljungberg. And now he's managed to feed Reyes. Blocked by Dawson. Flamini. Bergkamp. Flamini in space. His touch carried it into Lee, and Flamini then made the tackle that leads to the award of a free kick.
Well, when Spurs broke there, clearly Reyes was offside, but the assistant referee did well, because Ljungberg, who eventually took possession of the ball, he was clearly in an onside position. He does that so often from midfield, gets into advanced areas behind the opposing back four, timing his run to perfection.
Martin Jol has lost both of his attempts to beat Arsenal since he became manager. The first of those was 5 days after his official appointment. They made a real go of it here last year before losing out to the odd goal in 9. And it was a defender who struck first for them that day, Nuruddin Nebet. And King was also on the score sheet for Jol's side last year.
I'm just thinking, you can look back on moments in the game and Spurs fans were berating the referee for not giving the advantage rule to Spurs when Lennon was fouled. But of course, when that goal went in from King, I'm sure they were pleased he didn't play the advantage rule.
Carrick! Oh, that would have been a screamer, but it flies wide.
Fantastic shot from Carrick. Drills it with his left foot. You can see by the reaction of the fans behind the goal and Lehmann's dive just how close that is. That would have been an absolute cracker if it had gone in.
Heading towards 50 games now for Spurs, Carrick, and he still hasn't scored for them.
No, but I think that's an indication of the confidence that the boy's playing with. I think early in his career at Spurs, he would never have attempted that shot. Probably would have controlled it and passed it to a colleague. His confidence is so high at the moment that he would have expected to have scored with that shot. It was a terrific effort.
Gilberto. Flamini. Tainio. Foul by Toure.
You see Toure trying to get in front of Mido. Results in a challenge from behind. Lucky to get away with just a free kick against him.
Well, they'll be wary of King now. Doesn't reach him this time. Flamini blocks the route through from Carrick's kick. And Flamini tried to seize control of this game, but Carrick has snatched the ball from him. And here's Defoe with players piling in on him. Flamini, one of them. Gilberto. Carrick caught by Flamini, who is on a yellow card, remember, and is now probably on a last warning. Tainio. Toure. Reyes. Lee. Stalteri. Genus. Stalteri. Mido. Given away to Sol Campbell. Dawson rising high over Reyes, who's hobbled away. Arsenal have been swamped so far. They've struggled to get a grip. Reyes being halted by King, and the snatch header from Flamini about as good as it's got in an attacking sense so far for Arsene Wenger's side. Clichy. Gilberto. Flamini. Bergkamp. Toure. This is more like it to lift the confidence. Bergkamp. Well, Ljungberg had come inside, and Bergkamp hadn't necessarily anticipated that, but he's found Clichy. And then a misunderstanding with Flamini, and Carrick intervenes. Mido. Gilberto. Dawson steps in. It's Carrick. It's Defoe. Genus wants it pulled back and hits it! What a shot and what a save!
It was a brilliant effort from Genus. Not an easy ball to hit when it's coming across the body. He knew he had to hit it early because Ljungberg was about to put a tackle in, hits the target, and Lehmann reacts with a good save.
Carrick's corner. Tainio! Well, they're going for some picture book goals here today, aren't they?
Well, Lennon came over for the short one, and when Carrick sent him away, I realised then it was going to be a planned corner kick from the training ground, and that's what it was. Tainio waited outside the box, difficult skill on the volley, but once again, another demonstration of just how high the confidence is in this Spurs camp.
Carrick, Genus, Tainio and Mido as well have all gone for spectacular eye-catching goals with varying degrees of success. It's almost as though they came into this match expecting that it would be a special day, and they're determined to crown it with a special goal. They've got a goal, that's the important thing. Ledley King's head of the difference. Clichy.
Once again, another demonstration of the early pressing from Spurs. They're able to do that, they're able to get tight in those sort of areas, because I think Arsenal have got a massive problem without Henry stretching the Spurs back four. They've got nobody who's prepared to go in behind. Reyes and Bergkamp, as talented as they are, they both want to come to feet. So I think it's been reasonably easy for Spurs to defend against this Arsenal team.
Here's Lennon. Genus. Carrick. Back by Ljungberg. Here's Gilberto. Reyes. Now Bergkamp. Dawson misses his kick but recovers. Reyes in pursuit of the back pass, but calmly done by Robinson. Confidence emanating in every area of the pitch. Fabregas fouled. Bergkamp's kick, Flamini missed it, Campbell's in there, so too Gilberto, and it's Fabregas, but he couldn't bring it under control. Well done, Carrick.
Absolutely right. That's one area that he's really improved upon, his defensive qualities. We all know about his ability on the ball, he's an exceptional passer of the ball, but I think now playing as a protective player in front of the back four, he's really improved his defensive qualities, and that was a good example there. Fabregas takes it on his chest, and immediately Carrick, coming from behind, reads the danger and clears the danger.
He's a player who played for you, didn't he, in a loan spell at Birmingham?
He did, many years ago. We took him on loan from West Ham, but I think he's really matured over the last 12 months. I watched him twice over in the States, playing in Chicago, in New York, and I thought he did very well. There weren't that many pluses on the tour, but he was one of them, and I think he's been desperately unfortunate that the holding role against Poland recently was given to Ledley King. So I think if Carrick had been fit, then he would have got that opportunity.
Well, a chorus of cheers after that misplaced pass from Sol Campbell. He and Arsenal not enjoying the best of afternoons so far. Less than quarter of an hour to go to half-time. But Stalteri's just put Lennon in a spot of bother and given Clichy something to move on to. Ginas, though, picks it up again. Here's Fabregas. Bergkamp. Fabregas looking for the supporting run of Lauren. And it's Bergkamp. Well, Arsenal often criticised for over-elaborating, and yet again they possibly took too many passes. The foe's offside here.
Well, there was plenty of space for Defoe to go in behind. He thinks he was onside.
Lauren. Edgar Davids, who's suspended but has still come to give his support. His main worry at the moment will be getting back into the team. If it stays this way, it would be hard to change a winning team that's just won a North London derby, but the win by no means assured yet. Stalteri. Dawson. Clichy.
I don't think I'd ever remember an Arsenal side giving possession away as often as what they have done this first half. I realise that in a local derby, when it's keenly contested, when pressing is always at its best, still no excuse for the way Arsenal have given the ball away cheaply.
And Stalteri will look to split them open here, and Campbell turns it the right side of the post from his point of view.
I think Campbell gets lucky here because as this ball comes in, it's clearly deflected, comes off the foot of Clichy, and for me, Campbell should have taken that with his left foot.
Well, this is the one ground where Campbell will not want to be embarrassed. He's already been overshadowed by Ledley King, his former teammate. And from Carrick's corner, Mido gets underneath it and heads wide.
Mido should have scored. Simple as that. He can shake his head. It's a free header yet again from another good Carrick delivery. And that ball, just like the one from King, should have been dispatched in the back of the net. Just look at the space he's got. Nobody within 2 yards of him. Nobody to contest it. Poor marking from Arsenal. Free header. Should have been 2-0.
Former Arsenal man Emmanuel Petit watching for French television. Ljungberg had made a good run then, but Toure couldn't feed it through to him. Here's Stalteri. Well, maybe the biggest threat to Spurs is the clever movement of Ljungberg, who keeps getting into those positions. On one of these occasions, you'd expect Arsenal to get a ball right.
I think he's the biggest threat to Spurs because, as I mentioned, the two front players, Reyes and Bergkamp, they continually come to feet looking for the ball, whereas Ljungberg, from a deep position, really does time his runs well, and once or twice he has threatened to get in.
Gilberto. Reyes. Clichy. And it's Bergkamp. Flamini. Fabregas. Lauren moving up on the outside. Played back for Fabregas, but a good interception by Tainio.
But the pass from Fabregas had to be better. 2-on-1 situation, he really let Lee off the hook.
Fabregas to try again. Runs into danger this time, and Carrick swipes it away. And Campbell, who's looked really uncertain, gave it away to Defoe, and it takes Toure to save the situation temporarily at least.
Well, it appears that Carrick has taken all set pieces, corners from either side, and Arsenal have looked very uncomfortable. They haven't been marking well enough. If the delivery is good, and it could spell danger yet again for Arsenal.
Steve Bennett having to play the diplomat here, and is using a card with which to do it. There's, I think, been a bit of a confrontation, has there, between Defoe and Lehmann. Lehmann had plenty to say on the issue, but it's Defoe booked. Carrick swings it in.
Well, I think that gives you an idea of why Defoe went in the book. I think Lehmann made sure that the referee was fully aware that Defoe stepped on his toe. He jumped up in the air, the big 6-foot man, as if he was stood on by Ledley King. But he's gone in the book.
Well, Arsenal have been trampled over by Ledley King's goal. Lawrence sliding in with the challenge on Mido, and then rather unnecessarily getting right in the face of Mido, who may well have made more of it than there was, but it didn't need that reaction from Lauren to tell the referee that.
I have to say my interpretation of that is that it's an excellent tackle from Lauren. Doing what any good fullback should do. He's gone cleanly for the ball, he's made contact, Mido's gone over. And whether Mido has accidentally turned an ankle, but certainly it wasn't a result of the tackle, because that was a clean challenge from Lauren.
Good turn from Defoe. Clichy tries to guide it away. And Ljungberg looking for a free kick out of Lennon and not getting it. Mido's back on now, by the way. Back by Dawson.
Yeah, I think Lauren was wrong to abuse him like he did, but I think Mido, equally so, was play acting. There's very little wrong with him.
Ljungberg. This time he does get the free kick. It was a shove by Stalteri. Less than 5 minutes to half-time. Good challenge by King. One back by Fabregas. Bergkamp is getting away through the middle. Cut out though. Now Lee. Carrick. Lee. Taken over the line. Here's Defoe. And another corner for Spurs. Carrick plays this one back to Lee. Away by Campbell. Lennon. Clichy first to it.
Once again, bright minds from the Spurs players. Arsenal went asleep, expecting the ball in the box from Carrick. He played it short to Lee, and Arsenal really weren't alive to it.
Genius. Lennon's offside.
Well, the assistant referee, there's absolutely no excuse. He's looking right along the line, and clearly Lennon had timed his run right. He was onside.
Bergkamp. Flamini. Reyes. Now King. Header out by Toure. Carrick looking for Mido. Bergkamp. Ljungberg. Well, I thought it wasn't much of a contest in terms of stature, and from Campbell's coming together with Tainio, the Finnish international has stayed on the ground holding his face. He climbed to challenge Arsenal's former Spurs man, and just look at the blood that's gaping, that's coming from the gaping wound as a result.
I think this challenge that comes in here from Tainio really typifies the way Spurs have gone about their business in this first half. It's a mismatch, isn't it, between Campbell and Tainio in terms of size and physical strength, but they've contested every ball. They've been really determined, they've been aggressive. I can't think of one department where Arsenal have come out better than Spurs in this first half. The scoreline 1-0, I think really Arsene Wenger will be reasonably satisfied with that. He's got plenty to talk about half-time, possibly one or two changes, because this has been a mauling for Arsenal in this first half. It really has been.
Well, Martin Jol unhappy, and the use of the elbow particularly topical this week after Alan Shearer's experiences. What was your reading of that challenge with Campbell and Tainio? Was it just natural elevation from the defender?
I think so. Campbell was coming forward onto the ball, always going to be favourite. He got the extra height, the strength. Tainio was always second best. I don't think there was any intention from Campbell to elbow. Didn't need to. Sometimes it happens, and you have to say, unfortunately, it was an accident. Yeah, that's not intentional. Campbell gets elevation, gets his full strength and force behind the header. And Tainio was just a little bit too brave for his own good.
Which is a shame in one sense for him, in that he's off the field at the moment, but very encouraging for Spurs in that has been the hallmark of their first half performance.
It's probably a couple of minutes away from half-time. He may need a couple of stitches, and hoping that he can get through these couple of minutes and get stitched up by the doctor at half-time.
Oh, Defoe has freed himself. Genius! Oh! Well, the sort of form he's been in lately, you expected to see the net bulge then, but he just couldn't get close enough.
I'd like to see it again, Rob, but I think Genius timed his run perfectly and then had an air shot. I think he totally miskicked the ball.
Well, here's Tainio, who's come back on wearing the number 49. The spare shirt that they had available to the man who normally wears 6. Clichy.
Great run from Clichy. The cross was horrible, but if it had been a good one, there was nobody in the box. That's the problem Arsenal have. There are very, very few players who are making the opposing penalty box. Clever work this from Defoe. Totally bamboozles Torre. Plays it low and hard across the box. There you see Genius. I think he miskicks it. I think he's there.
Well, close to being 2-0, but it is just the one at half-time. But what a half for Tottenham, who lead thanks to Ledley King's header, and they deserve their lead. They've dominated Arsenal in every department. They've restricted them to the minimum of opportunities. And even then, Arsenal haven't had any real clear-cut chances. And at the break, it's Tottenham 1, Arsenal 0. Yes. Captain. And Arsenal are going to react to that by making a change at half-time. Martin Jol will want his team to keep going in the same manner that they left off in that first half. But Arsenal are going to bring on Robert Pires, who's the last man to return to the field. Steve Bennett was almost getting set to start without him when he realised that Arsenal were a man light. But Pires, who's 32 today, comes on to take the place of Matteo Flamini. Pires, who controversially last week scored one penalty against Manchester City and then tried to play another in a horribly botched attempt to get a second. Arsenal then get the second half underway. They've not been beaten in their last 12 games in all competitions against Spurs. But is that run to end at unlucky 13? What do you make of the change, Trevor?
I think it'll give Arsenal a better balance in midfield. I spoke very early in the game about Fabregas wanting to play very narrow. He's a natural central midfield player, didn't look comfortable on the right of midfield. And now he's got his wish, he's back in the centre, playing alongside Gilberto.
Here's Campbell. Now Clichy. And this is Reyes. Pires, who's got a good scoring record in this fixture, 7 in his last 9 appearances against Tottenham. And Ljungberg here see to get back into an onside position, but not quickly enough. Shakes his head in disbelief. Tainio's back on, minus the headwear, after his clash with Sol Campbell's arm. There's Campbell. Reyes. Wasn't a particularly distinguished first half from Sol Campbell, although I'm not sure any blame could have been attached to him for the challenge. Bergkamp has threaded it through, and it's Freddie Ljungberg! Good save! Well, Spurs furious, and they would have been even more so had that led to a goal. because they felt there was a foul on Genius in the lead-up.
Well, there's a lot of confusion around White Hart Lane because there appeared to be a foul, and also the ball appeared to be out of play. Bergkamp played to the whistle. Ljungberg strikes it firmly with his left foot. Terrific one-handed save from Robinson.
And he wasn't to actually know then, but in the end, the referee did bring play back for the throw-in. So if Ljungberg had gone through and scored, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Lee. Deflected against Freddie Ljungberg, was it? No, goal kick. Dawson. It's Dawson again. Now Mido.
It's noticeable, Rob, that every time Lehmann kicks it long, it comes straight back at him. The two central defenders for Spurs, King and Dawson, have totally dominated every aerial challenge against the smaller players, Reyes and Bergkamp.
Here's Pires. Bergkamp. Ljungberg's made one of those clever runs of his. It's cut out, though, by Dawson. Gilberto holds on to it, looks for Lauren, and Tainio gets there first. Fabregas. Lauren tripped Carrick. Mido tussles with Toure. Campbell heads clear. Mido used his body strength to hold off Lauren and win the throw. It's Tainio to take. Campbell and Toure almost in each other's way. Stalteri, now Lennon. Just tripped on the ball, and that gave Pires the edge. Bergkamp moves on ahead, Reyes out wide, Ljungberg through the middle. Here's Gilberto, now Fabregas, now Lauren. This is more smooth from Arsenal. Bergkamp. Tainio holds him up, hacks it away. Bergkamp gets it back again, though. No free kick, he went to ground too easily there against Genius, and the referee didn't buy it. Defoe. Lennon burst through the middle. It's Lennon up against Campbell. Genius with space. Defoe. Past Toure. The angle was awkward. And Campbell got back into position.
Well, certainly Spurs are stretching Arsenal. They pulled Campbell into a wide area. Lennon took possession, played it to Genius, who played a clever little ball in behind for Defoe.
It was Carrick's free kick that led to the only goal so far for Ledley King.
Well, Lehmann's just gone down the floor, Rob. I just hope, for everyone's sake, that he hasn't been struck by a missile.
Sadly, it looks as though your worst fears may have been realised. And now Steve Bennett has a security issue on his hands. Handing the missile to Peter Walton, the fourth official. Well, he's just checked on the German goalkeeper's welfare before the corner is taken by Carrick. Oh, and it comes back off the defender, Toure, into his goalkeeper's hands. Then there's a little bit of a tumble with Michael Dawson. Freddie Ljungberg gets involved. And in a potentially volatile atmosphere, and bearing in mind what we've just seen, the players have a responsibility to bear as well. And maybe one or two of them are just letting the nature of the occasion get the better of them. And there's going to be further action, certainly against Dawson. A booking.
Well, it comes off the back of Toure, and you can see there that Lehmann is trying to deliver the ball early upfield to a colleague, and Dawson just gives him a little nudge. There's not too much in it. There's the second nudge, and Lehmann, well, theatrically goes to floor, and then there's an overreaction from the Arsenal players, I have to say. Really, what Dawson did was next to nothing.
Well, it was the last thing we needed to see after what had already gone on there, with Lehmann appearing to be struck by something thrown from the crowd, and Tottenham will presumably be hearing more about that from the relevant authorities. Here's Fabregas, Bergkamp, Reyes, blocked by Stalteri. Clichy. Fabregas, now Bergkamp. Pires. Gilberto. Bergkamp. Tackled by Carrick. Now Toure. Fabregas. Lauren. Gilberto. Sol Campbell, challenged by Defoe. King. Fabregas looking to play Pires in, he's offside.
Well, once again, I don't think he is offside. Ljungberg and Pires were both level, so that's onside.
Here's Tainio. Defoe. Away by Clichy, now Pires. Bergkamp. Too far for Reyes. Well, Arsenal's place behind Tottenham in the league would be a temporary state of affairs if they were to win, because they're 3 points behind and came into this game with exactly the same goals scored, goals against, and therefore goals difference. But Spurs, the likelier winners by virtue of the lead they've established in the first half and the way they've carried on in the second. No immediate signs of an Arsenal comeback. Tainio. Bergkamp. Gina slid in, but Reyes has emerged with it, and Gilberto's up ahead. The angle difficult, and he needs support, Gilberto. Clichy. Header clear by Tainio. Now Toure. And he's played Fabregas in as he tripped. It was outside. It was Lee.
Well, certainly Fabregas falls inside the box, but the first contact from Lee is a good yard and a half outside.
A possible route back into the game for Arsenal. Reyes and Pires over the kick. What have they got planned for this? Pires doesn't trouble Paul Robinson. Well, you're always expecting something different, something magical from Arsenal. But so far, the necessary ingredients have deserted Arsene Wenger and his side. Toure getting back into position to defend against the free kick that he's given away. And King has gone forward for it once again. So too Dawson. Genius waiting at the edge too. Carrick bends it in. King was laying claim to it. Clichy doesn't clear the first time but does the second. And Reyes just wins his race with Lennon, although Lennon's stuck with him. And that's unlucky. Bergkamp. Ljungberg. Now Lauren. Gilberto. And Lauren seemed to have hold of Defoe's shirt then. But he's kept it in and he's escaped. Toure sticks out the leg, but Defoe goes on. That's a great save. Well, Defoe then could have gone down and might well have won a penalty if he had done. But to his credit, he stayed on his feet and produced the save.
And I think Tainio's going to go in the book for that lunge on Freddie Ljungberg. It was wild, it was reckless. I don't think he made contact, but certainly this run from Defoe was quite brilliant. Gets away from Lauren, comes on the inside of Toure, who lends out a leg, could easily have gone over Defoe. He keeps his balance, one-on-one with Lehmann. And Lehmann produces a really good save with his foot low down to his left-hand side. But a great run from Defoe, started in a wide position, one possession of the ball, kept it, and then easily went past Lauren and Toure.
Well, for a man of his size, Campbell maybe went down a little too readily then from that brush with Jermaine Genius. It's Bergkamp with a kick. Away by Mido. Pires couldn't control it. Genius just stabbed it away. Stalteri. Lauren got something on it to hold up Defoe, but Lee finds him anyway. Away by Campbell. Gilberto. Ljungberg. Reyes. Ljungberg's made another intelligent run, but again he's frustrated. Lee. Campbell. Lennon. Tackle by Toure. Fabregas. Here's Dawson. Caught then, was he, by Toure?
Well, Dawson gave the impression that he was caught by Toure. Toure really went chasing after the ball. He certainly raised his foot. But whether he made contact, it's very difficult to tell. And that's the decision, I think, that Mr. Bennett has also adopted. He wasn't sure.
I think Freddie Ljungberg may have a bit of a hamstring problem. He was holding that left leg a little earlier to add to the concerns anyway of Arsene Wenger at a stage when a substitution was already being contemplated and the throwing on of Robin van Persie. I'll just get Gary Lewin's update on Ljungberg's condition. Down to 10 men then for the moment, and Ljungberg is making an exit towards the dressing room. Tainio. Here's Defoe. Pires. Lost out. Defoe! It's going to be Van Persie for Ljungberg. Fourth appearance in this derby fixture for Robin van Persie, although he's never scored in one. So a double Dutch forward line now for Arsenal, with Reyes pulling over the left and Pires switching to this side. Here's Pires. King. That's a hamstring injury for Freddie Ljungberg, as we thought. Very annoyed and frustrated as he went off at his inability to turn round this awkward situation for Arsenal. An Arsenal team who hadn't won anyway in their last 5 away Premiership matches coming into this. They'd lost 4 of them. And for 3 of those 4 defeats, they've been minus Thierry Henry, who really does make such a difference to Arsenal. But if they're to pick themselves up, they've got to do it without him. They've got to do it without Ljungberg. They're relying now on Van Persie and Bergkamp. Here's Reyes. Lauren. Pires. Nice link up. It's Van Persie. Good save. You've got a strong hand to it.
This is a quite brilliant save from Paul Robinson. The key to it is he doesn't see it till late. Just look at the reaction. Good shot from Van Persie with his right foot, and a really strong hand from Robinson.
Lauren, better spell this for Arsenal. Offside Reyes. Defence well marshalled. Well, Robinson again proving why he's hard to shift as England's number one.
Not only does he save it, Rob, he actually pushes it wide. Absolutely vitally important for a goalkeeper. It's one thing getting a hand to it, and you put it back into play, gives the opportunity for a opposing forward to get on the end of it. But both saves in the second half with Robinson's left hand have pushed the ball in a wide position.
Well, he seems to be having some problems at the moment, facing into the sun, Paul Robinson. Here's Mido. Tainio restricting Pires. Carrick spreading it to Lee. It's an ambitious ball. Oh, well won back by Lennon. Pires looking for Van Persie. Oh, he couldn't get the direct touch he wanted. If he had, then Arsenal would have been level.
Brilliant ball from Pires. Plays it in behind King, in between King and Dawson is Van Persie. He stretches out his left foot and just can't quite get contact on it. But already, in the few minutes that Van Persie's been on, he's already made his intentions quite clear. He's on, and he wants to try and rescue this game for Arsenal.
Well, he's made a huge difference since he came on, Robin Van Persie. Bergkamp. Tainio. Fabregas. It's held up by Timu Tainio. Here's Gilberto. Toure. Bergkamp. Reyes.
It's a better second half showing from Arsenal. They've competed. I thought first half they were always second best. They've come out, obviously being quite a tongue lashing at half time from Arsene Wenger. They've passed the ball better, and they now carry a bit more of a threat. They're very much in this game now.
Oh, Defoe has managed to stay on side here. He's got Mido in the middle, and he's looked for him without success. Fabregas. Lennon wins his battle with Bergkamp. Fabregas. Here's Bergkamp. Tainio. Genus. Defoe. Lennon's cross, and Genus. Looks a good opening.
Yeah, Genus made the initial run and continued his run into the box. You see there that the line wasn't good from Arsenal. Toure and Campbell was certainly in line, but a good 5 yards behind them. Lauren had stayed in, playing Genus onside.
Andy Reid is poised to come on for Tottenham. Fabregas, Lauren. Van Persie, Lauren again. And Dawson reaches it before Bergkamp can. And Andy Reid, who was on standby to replace Tainio in the first half, is actually going to take the place of the man on the other side, Aaron Lennon. Reid, who's missed out of the starting lineup in the last 4 Premiership matches, gets his chance. Fabregas. Here's Clichy. Well anticipated by Dawson. Worrying times for Arsene Wenger, whose side just seem unable at the moment to win a match away from home in the Premiership, in stark contrast to their form at home. And if this result stays the way it is now, they will have already lost as many away games in the Premiership this season as they did in the whole of last. Pires. Lauren. Toure. That's Lee. Reid. Here's Tainio. Mido had roamed to the right, but well won by Clichy. Well, Bergkamp's room suddenly opened up some room for Gaël Clichy, but he was taken down by Tainio. Lauren. Pires. Ledley King, Spurs captain, is he going to be match winner? Quarter of an hour to go. Arsenal have enjoyed more possession in the second half. And Van Persie certainly helped to make things happen for them. Here's Campbell. Bergkamp's header. Now Reyes. Stalteri dived in. Well, Spurs' goal was from a free kick. Can Arsenal reply in kind? And how controversial would it be if Sol Campbell got his head on the end of this Bergkamp kick? Robinson's lost it and Pires scores! Salvation for Arsenal, and Robert Pires on his 32nd birthday makes up for last week's howler from the penalty spot against Manchester City and makes the most of Paul Robinson losing the ball.
Well, last week Robinson made a howler at Old Trafford, gifting Silvestre the opening goal for United, and he's done similar today. He comes for the cross, gets his 2 hands to it, but puts it into the path of Pires, who still has a lot to do, but the finish is absolutely sublime. He doesn't have two-touch. He takes it first time, controls it, back towards the goal into the empty net, He makes it look easy, but believe me, that wasn't easy. That was a great finish from the Frenchman.
And it turns out to be a great substitution as well from Arsene Wenger. Pires, who was left out of the starting lineup, comes up with the goods. Mido's header back. Defoe looks to get in here.
Well, there's not much in that. Spurs are shouting for a penalty. Arsenal weren't happy because none of their front players pressed Robinson, who hit the ball long. Good little flick on from Mido. Defoe responded, but looked for the penalty, but not there.
Carrick, cleared by Toure. Dawson. Now Ledley King, the man whose goal has been wiped out by Pires. Well, it's England's #1 ironic cheers now for Robinson. Pires the beneficiary, Arsenal level, and Spurs making another substitution. Pedro Mendes on for Timu Tainio. Tainio, who got that blow above the left eye from Campbell's arm in the first half. Here's Lee. And now it's the Arsenal fans who found their voices. Lee looking for Genus, headed clear though by Clichy. In by Carrick, but no worries there for Jens Lehmann. Well, his demeanour hasn't improved too greatly, Arsene Wenger, but he'll be hugely relieved all the same. Dawson slip. Here's Bergkamp, and he's tried to play Van Persie in. Robin Van Persie blocked by Dawson, who recovered after his initial stumble and got in the crucial block. Clichy. Reyes flags up against Bergkamp. Lee. Toure leaned into it, but it came off his chest in the referee's view. Still Toure. King. Lauren. Bergkamp. Here's Bergkamp. Fabregas helps it on to Van Persie, who's won his battle with King.
Well, that effort was way off target, but the previous one, Rob, this was so close. He comes inside Staltieri, and then he's shaping to put it in Paul Robinson's left-hand side with his right foot. And just look at the block from Dawson. I think Dawson may just have prevented the second goal there for Arsenal.
Super sub. Robbie Keane, who's twice come on recently to score against Aston Villa and against Charlton, on in place of Jermaine Defoe. But it's amazing how the balance of this game is now tipped towards the visitors, where Arsenal were swamped in the first half and struggling to stay afloat Now you feel that it's Spurs who are the more vulnerable. Lee. Gilberto. King. Campbell. Genus. Pedro Mendes. Genus's cross is blocked by Gilberto, and Tottenham have hope. Well, Carrick's free kick opened up Arsenal for the first goal, and Ledley King is in there again. It's beyond him towards Mido, and now to Lee. Campbell not fully away. Clichy, back in by Stalteri. Away by Lauren, now Fabregas. Can Arsenal break? Pires has gone over to the left, and he's managed to reach him. And look how far Robinson's come.
Well, Robinson was lucky there, as if Pires had chipped him, he was in no man's land, Robinson. He made an error of judgment, and he got away with it.
Well, the game has turned on its head for Robinson, who made an outstanding save from Van Persie shortly after he'd come on. But he only just got away with that. Bergkamp. Toure. Bergkamp again. Pires. Reyes up to his left. Van Persie.
It's an absolutely brilliant ball in that corridor between the defenders and the keeper, and unfortunately Dennis Bergkamp didn't react to that ball from Van Persie.
And immediately acknowledged his own error of judgment. Good interception by Clichy. The initiative definitely with Arsenal now. Fabregas. Lee gets rid of it. Couldn't take a chance with Gilberto closing in. Now Pedro Mendes. Away by Mido. Here's Toure. Fabregas. Cleared by Dawson. Lauren. Campbell. Clichy. It's Lauren. Van Persie. Look at the freedom here for Reyes. Well, they got to him belatedly, and in the end did enough.
Yet another big block from Dawson. Reyes came on the inside of Stalteri, looked to play up with his right foot. Just have a look at the block here. Dawson goes across, great cover, and a well-timed challenge.
Michael Dawson, who's made life without Anthony Gardner easier to bear with Nabet's loss of form, and has now established himself. Looking for Keane here. Away by Toure. Lee. Carrick. Reed. Links up with Keane. Crosses aim towards Mido. Well, a good header back across, but no one there to take advantage, and then Lehman takes a fall after a push from Robbie Keane, all a bit unnecessary. Pedro Mendes. Reed. Referee plays the advantage. Lee. Blocked by Fabregas. Now Bergkamp up against King. Lays it into the path of Pires. Van Persie through the middle. Steers it back for Pires. Away though by Carrick. Pedro Mendes. Campbell away, now Reyes. First touch carries it past Pedro Mendes. 3 ahead of him. Reed. Stalteri. Cross aim towards Mido. Clichy. Pires. Gilberto. Fabregas. Pedro Mendes. And Pires breaks it up. Reyes. It's King's header. Carrick. Lee unsuccessful in his attempt to keep it in. Here's Lauren. Reyes. Gilberto. Van Persie, not sure he got a touch, but King is there before Bergkamp anyway. Reed looking for Mido. Coming together with Toure, but no foul. And the referee was only a matter of yards away from it. Van Persie. Gilberto couldn't quite take it in his stride. Genius wins it back. Gives it away though to Fabregas. Now Campbell. Stoppage time looms. Pires. Here's Clichy. Stalteri stuck to his guns, and 3 minutes of stoppage time have been added on, with Arsenal showing perhaps their intent to hang on for a point now and bring on Pascal Sigon for Jose Antonio Reyes. Here's Gilberto. Good interception by Genius. Carrick. Mido taking a tumble over Sigon's body. Bergkamp. And Percy straight offside anyway.
But at least with that run, Rob, he's threatening to go in behind. That's what Arsenal didn't have in the first half. And that's what Van Persie's given them for the majority of the second half.
Percy leaning on Dawson. right on the edge of the box. Toure clambering over Mido.
Well, I think Toure's a little bit lucky to get away with that. I think Mido probably made the referee's mind up by not attempting to jump for that ball, but he's entitled to stand. Certainly Toure clambered all over him. Fans were shouting for a penalty, but it was outside the box. The most they could have got was a free kick.
Bergkamp. Stalteri away from danger with Van Persie. Here's Keane. Lauren. It's on a shed in the 150th North London derby, but for around an hour it looked as though Martin Jol might end Arsenal's 12-match unbeaten run against Spurs. The introduction, though, of Robert Pires saw the cancelling out of Ledley King's goal that had given Jol's side a first-half lead. And Pires struck back after a mistake by Paul Robinson in letting a free kick go. Pires, the villain last week for the botched penalty against Manchester City, the hero this week on his 32nd birthday in rescuing a point for the Gunners. Tottenham 1, Arsenal 1.
Das war